Hello, it's Lara Joe, SirenSong lover. Should you wish to hop in and go on a magic carpet ride, let's go. It's been a very active day. Um, been doing a lot of spiritual house cleaning. And spiritual house cleaning meaning like removing some rubbish that should have been removed a long time ago. And battling with foes. So I woke up. I've been having dreams the last 2 weeks, and it's been making me feel kind of but they're prophetic dreams, and they really take a lot out. But when I wake up, I'm given a lot of information, and I've been choosing violence the last few days. So today was not any exception. Like I say, 2 weeks straight of just prophetic dreams. So it's been pretty anywho, so yeah, I had to go do a spiritual field trip today, and I was met with a friend along the way, which was pretty fucking cool. And then I came home to text from the ex, and that was a time waster as always, and him playing games and deflecting and lying, and I'm like, you're lying and it's not cute. You're lying. I don't know. Anywho, so we'll get in, see what the tea is for today. I will show this really quick because, Spirit has jokes and laughs. And while I was talking, exchanging energy back and forth with him, I split the deck earlier, and these were the two cards. So that was like the funny haha, like he and I were talking, and like I say, he pissed me off, and I split the deck, and it was shady and true colors. And I was like, that's a message from your ancestors. And he doesn't believe in all of that, but he will. Anywho, so I'm Lara Joe, SirenSong lover. Should you wish to book a reading so you can also clear out your life, like I've been doing radically, or should you wish to, so I'll drop that down in there. And then also, should you wish to donate to my ministry is greatly appreciated, needed, desired, wanted. I need to be able to eat. I need to be able to feed. I did get I did get a little nibble of Subway earlier because of a donation I had yesterday, which also helped kind of fuel my spiritual field trip for today, which today was a journey to the crossroads. So that was interesting and fun. And again, it was needed because, yeah. All right, well, let's see if we get any friends in to be able to talk about all of this wild stuff that happened today. So today I had to go to the crossroads and speak to some ancestors, and it was really cool because, like I say, I showed up and this dog showed up, which he was a wiener dog, and I have an affinity for dachshunds. There's like a huge story there, but I have an affinity for dachshunds. And right when I pulled up, this dachshund just came bolting up to me. He was adorable, just so beautiful and super friendly. He wanted to play, and for me, it was like, okay, I know that as I cross into the crossroads, which is ultimately what I was doing, I had protection. So it was kind of cool. And then also, he's kind of, the dachshund today was kind of like a little mini version of my dog I have here at home. This guy that I have here at home he's a German Shepherd mix, but he like same kind of colorings, and he like the guy today at the place that I went to, he had like the same coloring markings. I was like, okay, so I know that I have a little mini badger with me as I'm doing this journey today. Also, the blue jays were present and accounted for, which my family, one side of the family especially, they are blue jays. So every time I see the jays, I'm like, okay, jays in the house, the whites are in the house. That's that family side, is the white side, which they highly fucking karmic. They've done a lot of shit to me. But, you know, them being there present at the crossroads again is like that. Like, my guardians are with me. My guys are with me. So I had support today by land and by air, which as a air sign queen, support by air is always greatly noted, appreciated, loved. Yeah. So, and while I was out in my adventure today, I ran across plenty of sheriff, and I waved, and I was behaving well, and ran across plenty of sheriff. So, like, my progress today was documented very well by, you know, the great state of where I live. So, hopefully all that makes sense, even if it just gives you a laugh or something to think about. Like, that's why we're here, right? It's all interconnected. It's all life. And I think part of what was so hard when I was driving home, because it was like women are still treated like property. And the exchange with my ex-husband very much proves that we are still just treated like property. And like that drive home today, it was the fight for, I'm not fighting for me, I'm fighting for my daughter. So my daughters can have a chance to have a happy, free life. And they don't appreciate it, they don't see it, they don't know it, but I fight every day so that my daughters can be free and not be treated like property and have rights and have a voice and have everything like that. So, and the infuriating thing with arguing with the ex, he's an alcoholic, and he definitely has some mental health issues, and he won't address them, but he keeps perpetuating them on me, on my child, on his new family, children, and his new family, and that's what's upsetting. He told me I need to get my head checked. I'm like, I already have. I've already been cleared. It was time for you guys to do that too. Anywho, so, yes, let's... I'm gonna take a minute to just fucking breathe, because it's been yeah. So come on in, say hello, please wave, please say hi, please let me know you're in. Reciprocity is the best way to exchange energy. If it resonates, please wave, say hi, please sow into my ministry. I'm greatly in need of funds. I'm scraping the barrel. Like, it's looking pretty freaking dark, which is also partially why, like, some things are going on this weekend, is because financially it's something. And that's, again, attached to the ex-husband, and he wants to say how he's not any part of that source and blah, 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 blah. Well, no, he and his goons regularly stalk my social media profiles. They regularly shut down my media. They regularly harass me, all that jazz. Redirect my work, everything. And that was brought forth in court too, was how he's been trying to suppress me, but he wanted to say how that wasn't a thing, and I'm like, yeah. So anyway, that was on record too. Like, that was all documented, recorded in court, how like he and his lawyer were overreaching in my business, but they want to say how they're not any part of that. No. I guess where the math ain't mathin' is, why did a whole group of people, friends, family, so many people come against one woman that isn't doing anything other than trying to live her life? So those are his answers to answer to the general public, not mine. Anyway, I'm going to take a minute, just a minute or two. Come on in, say hello. Please let me know if you're in. I'm going to sit here, just chill, take a drink. Give me a minute. Alright, I'm going to show my cute little Crossroads companion. Oh, that was my little cute Crossroads companion. Anyway, so today I sent some cursed items back to their belonging owners with the proper send-off, and that's something that if you ever want to talk about that, we can talk about that. But let me see if I can show you my handsome guy that was my companion today. This is that little cutie, letting me know that again, some like Anubis and Hecate and the underworld was with me as I went into the underworld, which is beautiful confirmation. Yeah, anywho, where were the cards? Okay, I was going to record earlier. I was outside, all set up. I was going to record earlier, and I was trying to gather myself and calm down after all the bullshit that I'd gone through with my ex today, which I guess is also part of clearing up karma and clearing up some housekeeping. Was having that battle with my ex because he's been playing my face for years, and he still don't get that I've been on to him. I'm on to him. I've been on to him. His ancestors have been on to him. He can't put the bottle down. He can't stop fucking drinking. And part of the conversation that I had today, I was like, you don't realize you're a pawn. I go, and that new wife that you have, you know, he was complaining about our case. I'm like, that new wife that you have, she's going to even completely more clean you out and take all of that good money you're making now. So while he fought so hard with me, he doesn't realize the next woman he married is a vicious bitch. And apparently she's religious. But if that's the case, then she should know the religious teaching saying, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. I know who I am to God. Apparently she don't. She'll find out. She should have kept my name out of her mouth. And I didn't even know her name until Monday, which is funny because I'm like, oh, all this time and you could never mention her name. Anyway, so because it's on the bottom of the deck, true colors there, and then family underneath that. Let's see what it is we need to see about all of this clarity. Just what a fucking day. What a day. Lara woke up and chose violence, and that's okay. In the most peaceful of ways, I chose violence. I chose to protect myself and enact boundaries. And my journey into the crossroads was to return an item to someone to return an item to someone and to their family. So that was in cleansing. I did a lot of spiritual cleansing today in all the best ways. Yeah, if you ever need spiritual cleansing help, let me know. All right, so what do we need to know? There are secret accounts surrounding divine feminines. For me personally, I know this. I am a divine feminine. They have tons of secret accounts on me. And they're lurking and stalking because they're blocked. Spam, call, text. You know, it's funny how I never get the resources or the calls that I need, yet all of the junk keeps coming through. And I've talked about that, how they sign me up for all kinds of spam stuff and all the resources I need are being redirected. That's an even bigger web to talk about, but I've talked about it before. I'll talk about it again. Yeah, it's like with my ex and all that jazz. It's like, you keep telling lies about me and I'll keep telling the truth about you. And then that whole group of people that you got together against me for bullshit propaganda is going to turn around and ask you, like, this girl ain't doing nothing. Why are we harassing her? Why are we fucking with her? There is no valid reason for what they've done at all. At all. Rejected. Oh, it's because they feel rejected? Well, they should have treated me nicer. I wanted to say this too to my ex. Like, there came a point where it's like, I gotta stop. But, where's he gonna go with that? I wanted to say to him, be like, man, if you and my family had paid this much attention to me while we were together, we wouldn't have ever separated. They watch me closer now than they ever did while we were around each other. And again, if they had paid this much attention to me then, we wouldn't be separated. They wouldn't be blocked. They wouldn't have been rejected. I do hope he learns that for his new wife, though. Maybe he should pay attention, except for she's a Jezebel. You know, they like to hide behind the cloth of the church. They're Jezebels. And toxic lifestyles, drinking, that was something I told him. I'm like, put the bottle down. I'm not the one who's crazy. I learned to put the bottle down years ago. The only bottle I use now is for cleaning, like spiritual cleaning. Which, if they go through my trash tonight, they'll see an alcohol bottle, but not one that I drink out of. It's one that I used for house cleaning, spiritual house cleaning. I haven't had a drink in almost 2 years. Okay, I love Jezebel came back out. So, beautiful confirmation. All right, well, let's see. What else? Who can it be now? Who's gonna be knocking at my door? Oh. Okay. All right. Married. Well, he is married to that Jezebel. Secluded, separation, reflecting, soul searching. This is having to do with a love child or a very big family secret. Oh gosh, I love my Reddit's up and I'm like, my Reddit's up. I was like, oh, that was an interesting search I was on the other day on Reddit. Okay, married, Jezebel, cope. I know how that resonates for me. Hopefully if you come along, that'll resonate for you. Or if you're a watcher of mine and you're very personal, maybe you'll know what your problem is. funeral. I actually almost did say that today, is that if you don't put down the bottle, it's your funeral. So that coping to deal with that Jezebel spirit, if you don't put it down, it's going to be your end completely in every way possible. Yeah. Okay. We have reckless love and sex, police station, under pressure, anxiety, decisions, time's running out, not happy, twin flames, and wish. Okay, well, don't play with other people's hearts. Don't be out here doing reckless things with people that you love. After today's lessons, that really does feel applicable. And I'm going to say this too, like, I did choose violence. I have chosen violence, like, just energetically, like, not violence, but just standing my ground and having boundaries. And that's had to happen twice this week with 2 different exes. In my experience on Tuesday with my other ex, like, he left me like this, intentionally, after I told him not to. And when I walked out of that room, when I walked out of that place, like, he was on the floor having a panic attack. I'm not sure if he was crying, but it was like, how are you feeling emotionally distraught over leaving me in a really bad place? And it really just feels like he was playing the victim. And it was like, you're playing the victim in a situation that you refuse to get yourself out of. Like, he's still in a place that he had over 7 months to get out of and improve his life and do better, and instead he chose to keep staying there. But now he wants to cry about how his life is shit. Well, no, dude, I was trying to help you. I've been trying to help you since the day I fucking met you. You can't be like, oh, poor me. No, man, you refuse to move. I don't know. Just like, you had all the answers. I helped you so much. I gave you so many resources, and yet you refuse to do anything to improve your life. And again, I went to the crossroads about it today. I had exes that got put in the crossroads today. And that's their own fuck up. They should have been careful with me. They knew not to do what they did, and they did it anyway. So, okay, drinking, toxic lifestyle. Yes, it's that toxic lifestyle that they refuse to give up. They refuse to let go of. They cling to. Well, sorry, man. You can do that on your own. I've got bigger things to do. And the world is in a really scary place. We need everybody awake and not fucking around right now. Okay, so there's been some fake news around pregnancy or DNA. That's, like, for me, I know that they've been messing with my DNA intentionally. And the other part of that, they've been trying to get my DNA and they have no access to me. Plus, like, the medical field definitely wants access to my DNA, especially after all the work I've been doing. But because I have no health insurance, I haven't been going to the doctor. Like, I know the government would love to see my DNA right now, see my blood, but because I can't afford to, they don't have access. So there's a lot of happenings going on in my world, at least right now. I don't know about for you guys. If there is, please let me know. Please let me know how it's going out there. If my story fascinates you, please ask more. There've been thugs around, playing around. That was part of our conversation that I had. The battle I had today was somebody has been messing around with thugs, and they kept thinking that they were going to get away with it. Okay. So it's a trap. And psycho, crazy ex, obsessed, won't let go. And then this is secluded. So separation, reflecting, soul searching. Where they all messed up with me was because they made me sit down and hang out by myself and sober up. Everybody turned their back on me, so they got me alone, which they didn't realize when they got me alone, I could hear the voice of God. I could hear the voice of the ancestors. I could hear what I needed to hear over all that stuff that they did. The other part is because they dried up my business, and I don't have that many interactions with people, so now it's a lot easier to notate when people are off the cuff or when things are not right or when something doesn't add up, because I've got a lot of time to sit and think. They thought by getting me alone that they would have a leg up, but by getting me alone, it was like, no, now I have a lot of time to sit, observe, think, talk with God, meditate. If they'd been smart, they would have kept me busy and traveling and all of that jazz. But instead they wanted to try to get me alone to, well, end me. And the other part of that too is that if anything happens to me, then everything that I've been speaking on implicates their dirty deeds. So they really do need me alive and compliant. Yet they don't realize that by, secluding me and drying everything up, that they put themselves at a disadvantage, especially because they're not secluded. They've got all these people in their ear and they're all drinking, right? So none of them can see. None of them have that gift of vision because they're too busy in the bottle. It's like all you can see is the bottle. Well, because of their abuse, I had to give the bottle up. And by doing that, I started seeing past the beer goggles. The other irony, I've always believed in religious and I've always believed in God, but by dating all these crappy men and by being with my ex-husband, all that did was push me to God and to divine source and creator. Like, that was a win for God. Like, not only did we get nasty men out of the way, I strengthened my relationship to God. Sounds like a win-win. All right. Illumination, truth, discovery, awakening. Yeah. When you put down the bottle, you'll start seeing really big things, really cool things. So, yeah. All right. Okay. Love spells. They've tried to do every spell under the sun on me, but especially love spells. Let's see what other cards are here, and then I'm going to reshuffle. Side hustle, wish, and twin flames. Okay. Alright. As we work on our money, our wishes come true, and then love comes in. So, they thought they were doing me dirty, and instead they just pushed me to work harder on other shit. And honestly, I've done so many unpaid internships. I'm used to not getting paid for work until, put in some work on it. So, again, all they did was just put me in a role I'm comfortable in. I've done a lot of unpaid internships, so when they didn't pay me for my shit, no, that was just me training. And I guess it also goes to say, it's like, if you take the money out of the church, you will find out who truly has the gifts and who truly is profit. Just like if you take the money out of healthcare, you'll find out who truly wants to help people heal and be doctors versus who's just in it for money. So if you took all the money out of aviation, you would see who really truly wants to be a pilot because they actually love the air and who just wants to be paid for being a glorified bus driver, yes. I don't know. Also, part of Like, my mother used to use extreme isolation as a punishment when I was a child. And while as a child, it was really painful. As an adult, because people are assholes, I've found extreme isolation is beneficial. So my mom used to do it as a kid. Well, shit, I'm used to sitting by myself and having no one to talk to you. Because that's what my mom used to do to punish me. Now, it's funny how when we were kids, we hated like being spanked, we hated naps, and we hated being put in timeout. And now as adults, we're like, shit, please give me a nap, please spank my butt, and put me in timeout. Like, as a kid, it was a punishment. Now as an adult, I'm like, yes, I'll be in the corner. I need to calm down. Maybe none of this makes sense. Maybe all of it makes sense. And if you like my vibe, please hit subscribe. Please donate to me. Please show me the love. Please show me the love. It's been such a fucking trek of non-love and just brutal work. Everybody just thinks that this is silly, but no, it's not. There is real truth and life to it, and there is real, it's like tarot reading. I've spoken on this before. People want to be like, oh, you just play with cards. No, man. I get messages from God at 3 a.m, and I have to deliver them. Like, people want to be me. It's like, okay, well, then you're going to get woken up at 3 a.m. You want to be me? Okay, you're going to have your guides contacting you all the time. Yeah. I think I scared my ex today. I know I scared my ex today. And I know I scared my ex the other day too, because he was not expecting to see me. Like, none of these boys are expecting me to be alive or fighting. And I've always been a fighter. I've always been tiny, but my dynamite comes in small packages. Anywho. Alright. Fake busy because hiding a love child. I'm one of the biggest people. I'm like, tell me the fucking truth, because then we can learn from it. But if you lie about it, I can't help you at all. The other part of it was during our marriage. Like I say, he was always fake busy, or he was always out cheating. And it's like, if you'd spent that much time worried about me and that you put into your lies, like, shit, we wouldn't have been divorced. You wouldn't have had to pay alimony. You wouldn't have to worry about all of this pain and misery. And instead, now you're trying to corral how many women and children and men and groups to do your bidding because you couldn't keep your dick in your pants? Be so fucking for real. It's a trap. Oh, I said that the other day, actually, and I said it today. I go, they're using you as a pawn, you dummy, because you can't get sober. You're going to be the fall guy. You're going to be the fall guy. You can't keep your head in your pants, and you're going to be the fall guy. And that's your own stupidity. Put the bottle down. Okay, well, I know that's... Okay. It's painful. It's painful being a seer. And the reason being is because you can tell people that the train's coming and to get off the tracks, but they don't listen, or they think like, oh, all the other times I've gotten away with it. And it's like, yeah, one day you won't. And that could have been avoided. All that pain, all that carnage, all that could have been avoided. It's kind of like my ex-boyfriend who red-rummed his girlfriend, and I had been speaking on that for a year, at least a year and a half, and no one listened. And then he heard a woman and all of her children and all of her family and himself and everybody that loved her, and she really was a woman that was very well loved. And it's like that all could have been avoided. Like, I saw that coming and I spoke on that and no one listened. makes me sad. Anyhow, okay. Well. Let's see. What else? Family and goodbye. Alright. So we are in the time where everything's kind of in like crunch time. You're gonna have to learn who to say goodbye to and who you want to keep going on the journey with. Who you need to say no more. Who can't be helped. Like that's with me. Like I have to look at it and be like, they can't be helped. Wasting more energy there is just exactly that, wasting energy. Okay. Let's see what else popped up. Alright, well, there's been fake news regarding pregnancies or DNAs. Yeah. I know that's applicable in my neck of the woods. I'd love to talk about it. You know, endings, because it's a job. Alright, let's see. I may have to run back to the bathroom in a minute, but let me see if I can do any more shuffles. Let me see if this has got anything going on here. Oh man, okay. My foot is kind of gone numb right now, which is such a weird, although it's on a weird day, energetic wise. So I was walking with the spirits of the dead today, because we are in Scorpio season and that veil is thin. Winter is the time for the spirits to come alive, and I definitely was doing that today. Had adorable companions while I did that. But I don't know. I'm not your average girl. And that being said, I'm not protected by your average spiritual team. So. Alright. Kind of sad. I was on TikTok earlier, and there's this little cutie he's a live streamer on there, and right when I popped in and I said hello handsome, he like paused it and then popped out, and I was like, was it me? Because he had like, I don't know, maybe that's just whatever, but it was just like, I didn't have much time because like I say, it's been an incredibly busy day, and I stopped in and I said hello, and then he like paused it, and I waited for like a tiny bit, and then nothing, and I'm like, oh, okay. I guess that was my point, to get off of TikTok and actually sit down and do my own stream. But I was just like, oh, yeah. And the other part of it, so I date men in all different shades, variety, heights, everything. And I've had a thing for Asian men for probably like 10 years. Like, Asian men are attractive to me. I do think that. Anyway, so, you know, there's a few Asian thirst trap men on TikTok right now, and last night I was like, it'd be funny if that's why my ex was so mad, because maybe he knows I'm actually meant to be with an Asian guy, and my fascination with them is like a thorn in his side. I don't know. I guess, like I say, that TikToker caught my fancy, and him being Asian, I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe it's, I don't know. Okay, that's silly. Okay, reckless love and sex is getting people caught up at the police station, and that's a no, no. There have also been a lot of people out here doing sex rituals and magic, and it's no bueno. It's icky, dirty. We don't be doing that. The beauty of it is, though, we are over here happily single, ignoring that we're in isolation, we're working on our finances, we're working on our hustle. We don't give two flying fucks what everybody else is doing with their wobbly bits. Or at least I don't. Like, I've been choosing absence because I'm like, you know what? There's too many weirdness out here, so it's better to be staying alone than sharing a hoe. Okay. Karmic lessons. Yes, those are karmic lessons. Fairy tales, phony, trickster, illusions. And when you become absent or you cut off things that are not for you, it heightens your spiritual gifts. Like I say, they secluded me thinking they were actually going to hurt me. Instead, it just means that I have a closer connection. Sorry, like my stomach's doing its thing. So like I said, I'm going to hop up and take a walk for a minute. But them putting me in seclusion only heightened my spiritual gifts and made me realize I was happier single. Like, that is the biggest part. Like, I spent my whole life, I'm 42, I've been in relationships since I was 14, so I spent 28 years in relationships, and I didn't know what it was like to be single, and it was really hard at first, but then I'm like, shit, I love singleness. Like, I get to eat what I want. I get to go where I want. I don't have to fight with anybody. I don't have to cry over I don't have to cry myself to sleep over anybody. I don't have to stress about what they're doing. Single isn't as scary as everybody thinks it is or says it is. And also, like, I mean, I'm single by choice. Like, I have options. And then I think of, like, my brother who always said, like, you don't need a man. Well, this was a man that couldn't ever cut the umbilical cord from my mom. Like, he always was my mama's boy. And then he had a girlfriend, but his girlfriend, it was like a weird little throuple with my mom. Like, my mom lived 4 doors down from my brother. After my dad died, my mom moved 4 doors down from my brother. And one way to get into their neighborhood, her house was right there where they would get into his neighborhood. He could drive the back way, but she was sitting she would sit she would sit in her driveway and watch him come home and watch what my sister-in-law was doing. And like, that's ew. Like, I love my kids, but I need space. I need privacy. I want my kids to come home and hang out, and I want my kids to be close, but, like, I also need privacy. Like, the fact that my mother lived 4 doors down from my brother was just a major ick. And it was very incestuous. And just like my sister lived with my mother, and that was incestuous and disgusting, too. And there's a reason why I moved away from that fucking family. Like, my family, yeah, I guess. It's all just gross. I wish I left a long time ago. If I had to say anything about that, about my family situation, I wish I left a long time ago. And I stayed due to shame and guilt and having that obligation. And I had always said that, like, once my father passed, which there's a weird history with my father too. Yeah, I had always said, like, okay, once my father passed, because he was never healthy my whole entire life. And there's spiritual parts to that. And his life was karmic, his death was karmic. That's something I can always talk about. That's, when, say, Davey had said to me, one of the other guys that is a watcher had said to me, he's like, you need to do a podcast on spirituality. I'm like, there's so much I can talk about. Like, I can talk about my parents and their karmic lives and how it played out in their karma and how I watched their karmic deaths. And there's so many lessons that I've observed throughout life that apply spiritually to everyday stuff that I definitely want to talk about. Anywho, my father was always sick, and I had said at one point, once my father passes away, I'm out of the state. Like, I'm moving as far the fuck away from my family as possible. Like, I love my brother, I love my sister. Although now I look at it and go, no, that wasn't really love. That was, again, coercion and guilt and shame and all that jazz. And then the next step was that once my son, because my son was a spicy kid and he couldn't have handled moving. once my son was of age, then we would move, and we did. So I had to wait for my father to pass, and then I had to wait for my son to be old enough to stand on his own. And we moved, I think, 2 days after he turned 19, which isn't that old. Like, we could have probably gotten him further, but I couldn't stay in that state any longer. And when we moved, he actually grew up a lot. I grew up a lot. I was 19 when I had my son. I was very young when I had my son. So, and like I say, I was very into my family, and there's all kinds of stuff there that can be talked about. Like, my son was a karmic for my mother. Like, my mother more or less forced me into having my son. And she also has him under mind control. So, moving away helped him grow up, and then he got closer with the family, and he had to grow up really fast. And then it also helped me grow up because I had never been away from my family. I had been kept controlled. I don't know how else to put that. Okay, give me a few minutes. I need to run back and go to the restroom. I'll be back in a few minutes. And then we'll get into some more stuff. And if you want to wave and say, like, yes, I want to talk about karmic stuff, or no, I don't know. I'm just kind of in here talking about whatever. Like, I talk about spirituality, I talk about energy clearing. This is as much that, like, I share because then people can know, like, oh, hey, that makes sense to what happened in my life, or that makes sense, or that's something I want to explore, or anything like that. I guess the biggest thing with the last two years especially, but the last few years, has been learning all those spiritual lessons. And because I've been in Earth School pretty well by myself, learning lessons while everybody else was out partying, well, now I've got, like, a good knowledge base to be able to turn around and help others. Anyway, okay, I'll be right back. Give me a few minutes. Alright. I love how like the light is doing some things back here. Magical things. Alright. Let's see what else we got going on. Yeah. Alright. I'll put my sweater on. I'm a little cold. I don't want to get hot in a minute. Alright. Which way to Sunday? Oh man. I have kind of like a headache going on. I've been battling a headache all day. I've been battling pain on my throat chakra all day, which is probably why I did have to go to the crossroads and clear some energy. They've been heavily sending me crown chakra attacks and throat chakra attacks and third eye chakra attacks, not realizing that you can't do that on everyone. So, yeah, been feeling kind of just crummy, and that's, like I say, a lot of things going on. And then I did have a battle royale with my ex today. And I let loose a lot of information to him, which is funny because his rebuttals, like he gave me rebuttals and I was like, yeah, this is all shit that I've thought about. But then he gives me like a half truth. He'll be like, oh, well, who would help me? And I'm like, oh, but it's because you have money and you're male and you have a whole family behind you and religious communities behind you. So while you're over here trying to gaslight me and say like, oh, no one will help me because I'm a man of color. And I'm like, but you have my family behind you. And you have religious communities behind you like the Jehovah's Witnesses. And then you have huge corporations behind you that are backed by the government. So you're lying. Like, I already figured it out a long time ago. That excuse that you're going to use, that, like, that was your card that you were going to play. No, I figured that out a long time ago. What was behind you that you were going to try to use. So, boys are so stupid. Or at least this boy. Like, this boy thinks he's so smart. He thinks he's such a good liar. And I'm like, no, man. You shouldn't have done what you did. That was one of my final things that I said to him. I'm like, you were warned not to play with me. I was not the woman to play or lie with. Period. I've been telling you that for a long time, and you keep just trying to do bigger and worse things and get more people involved. And it's like, all you're doing is catching a case for yourself and getting more people involved, which means a lot more people to go down with you. Also means a lot more people he's going to have to answer to about why he's doing the fucked up things he's doing. So, you know. Oh. Alright. On the bottom is the moon. The moon. Secrets. Hiding. Which we know. Let's see what else we need to know. Okay, Queen of Swords. The Widow Queen. Queen of Swords, this is someone who's very cutting, logical, decisive. She uses intellect. Once you piss her off, there's no coming back. Typically, Queen of Swords is Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. It's typically, and maybe I lean towards that because I'm a Libra. So I would, of course, identify with Queen of Swords. And the other part of this is, if it doesn't resonate, it's, if you're not interacting, we don't have reciprocal information or like energy exchange. If you're not, investing, it won't necessarily be your reading because your energy isn't in it. I love when people come in and try and steal from me, and I'm like, you're not getting shit because it's not a reading for you because you didn't put any information into it. You didn't put any energy into it. You didn't put any love into it. It's also like I had a guy who wanted me to do things for free, and then he wonders, and when I said no, I don't work for free, and then he went somewhere else and he cheaped someone else out, and then they put a curse on him. And I'm like, yeah, that's because you're supposed to pay for it. You're not supposed to just steal and suck off other people. Like, energy, magic, I say magic, but just energy isn't free. So when they try to steal like energetic info, like spiritual info, that isn't free. I have to pay my ancestors. I have to pay who I work for. So people that don't pay me for my work, I'm like, well, okay, cool, but that doesn't mean that you're actually getting the right things for you, because you have to, sow love into it. So 8 of Cups, this is having done all the emotional work and saying, you know what, gotta walk away. That was me today. I had to say, you know what, as a Queen of Swords, I had to say, you know what, this is the logical decision. I've done everything that I can do, and now it's time to go. Death. And this can be cycles, endings, rebirths, whatever else is going on. The field trip I had to do today was having to do with this. Because like I say, I had to go to the crossroads, and I had to say, you know what, I've done everything that I can do. That was when I woke up this morning, and I had gotten messages from my ex, and that's what started that chain of events. And then, like I said, I had the ex from 2 days ago that started a chain of events, and today was like, okay, it's time to address this with the ancestors and like the underworld ancestors. So that was for me today, was having to do Queen of Swords. I've done all the emotional work I can do. It's time to put an end to this. And that ending is, like I say, sometimes it's rebirths and recycles and starting afresh, and sometimes it literally is having to do with permanent endings. 6 of Cups, this is reminiscing, looking at the past, saying, how do we have those roots? How are we growing? So 6 of Cups is very much about reviewing the past and saying, okay, well, this is what I've done to grow downward, and this is what I need to do to grow upward. Part of that too, if you want to reach high towards the sky, you must go deep down into the dark earth. So you must be willing to look at the past so you can make a bright future and grow forward. 9 of Swords, this is mental enlightenment, receiving that clarity and letting ourselves go. Saying, you know what, these swords are no longer mine to carry. I've got to cut away all the bullshit. Okay. Father of Pentacles. So this could be Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. It's talking about a masculine that is financially abundant. Or, Father of Pentacles, that's like they're earth rich. We've got the material gains. Typically, if you know any Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, they typically are materially wealthy men and or hardworking, stable, grounded. And that can also be what we're going towards ourselves. Okay. 8 of Wands. We are receiving rapid communication messages in regards to this. For me, like, I have masculines that are earth signs that there's a lot of betrayals around, so receiving messages about that. And 10 of Pentacles, we're bringing in that financial abundance. We're getting the payoff, preferably from those earth signs. The ones that owe us money. Yeah, it's due. It's time. Let's see. What else? Oh, love the confirmation. Devil, Capricorn. Capricorn energy. This is our addictions. This is the past, what we need to cut away from. Excuse me. And typically the devil comes at you at the hardest when you're closest to your goals. When you're closest to the payoffs, the devil comes harder. So when you are close to receiving your 10 of Pentacles, your financial abundance, your wealth, the devil will attack you harder. When you're closer to getting to your mission goal, they come at you harder. I can attest to that. I've had that all week, like, coming at me heavy. And I'm like, yeah, no. So, and then you have girls like me. Like, for me, while the devil loves to play around me, what he's doing is he's collecting all those souls that are trying to work against me or sacrifice me. No, man, the devil's just there. That energy, those addictions, are there to suck that person right up. Like, everybody tried to come for me or sacrifice me, not realizing that what they were doing was just setting themselves up for contracts with their addictions and death and imprisonment, because they couldn't get out of those cycles. They couldn't break them. My brother is a huge example of that. He had a huge gambling addiction, and he was a man who did not have any qualms about taking money from me as a single mom. He didn't have any qualms taking money from me because he had to feed his addictions. He cared more about his gambling problems than he did my well-being or that of my child or children. He has physically, sexually abused me since childhood. He has physically, sexually abused my son. He has abused my children, all of my children. He's abused my nieces, my nephew, everyone. Is because of his stupid fucking addictions. So, judgment on that. I learned the lesson. I had to get away. Okay, the Hierophant, Taurus energy. So I love that the devil came out, that's Capricorn. Taurus came out, that's the Hierophant. That's, again, those materially stable signs for me. My father was a Hierophant, who was the Taurus. So, and Hierophant, typically they are connected to higher sources, knowledge. We think of the Hierophant with being connected to God, connected to source, highly intuitive, unless they're in their addictions. And my father was heavily into addictions. My father also sexually assaulted myself and my children and God knows who else. And I think that started becoming really obvious when I looked back at a picture of him and my son when my son was little. And I look at it now and it gives me such the ick. Because my father is definitely very predatory, but I didn't see that at the time. My father also drank daily every day of his life up until the day he got really sick, like he couldn't drink anymore. And now, I mean, drinking was so normalized in our house that we didn't think it was a problem. And now I look at it and I go, yep, no, that was the devil. His drinking was the devil, and it made him do horrible things. And also, like, my ex can't set the bottle down. I talk about that all the time. And it's sad because I've watched him do shit. I've watched him say shit. I mean, just shit that isn't... Like, when people drink, it's like they disassociate. They become someone else. And I look at, like, my ex, and I'm like, you are such a talented, intelligent, incredible man, and you can't put the bottle down, and you do these horrible things that I know are not you when you're drinking. And then they just, oh, you think you're higher than thou, or holier than thou, or higher and mightier, you know. No, I learned the lesson. I was a drinker too. I've had addictions too, like not horrible addictions, like drinking addiction. And that was from childhood. Like, we were fed alcohol so that they could sexually abuse us. So like that drinking was coping. Yet I've overcome it. I've worked through it. I don't think that I'm better than anyone. I've just learned the fucking lesson. I learned what it did to me. I learned what it did to my body. I learned what it did to my soul. I've watched it eat apart my whole family. And that's what's upsetting about alcohol. It's normalized. It's pushed as like safe and acceptable. No, it completely destroys families. And I know it's a coping mechanism, but choose your heart. Do you want to, drink every day, or do you want to have a family? Do you want to have a home? Do you want to have a happy life? Do you want to live proper? And I couldn't believe how much time I freed up when I stopped drinking. I know that sounds so silly, maybe, but like, shit, I was like, because before it was like I'd get home, or I'd have to, drive around to get drinks, and then we'd have to make drinks, and then you would just slide into oblivion. Well, when you put that bottle down, you're like, shit, like, I can go out for a walk, I can enjoy the sunshine, I can watch a movie, I can talk to a friend, I can explore a new habit. So be brave enough to choose your heart. Choose life. If all you've ever done is drink, and that's all you've ever known, be brave enough to say, what happens if I don't drink today? Okay, Father of Swords. This is King of Swords. So, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, masculine. Choosing to cut out anything that is not for your highest good. Not for the highest good of where you want to be. 10 of Swords. You have had every sword in your back. It is time now to say, you know what? I can't keep doing that. Okay. Justice. Justice. Receiving the karma. Receiving and balancing the scales. Saying, okay, this is what it is to make it all right. Oh. 6 of Wands. We're going to be victorious. We're going to be victorious. This is like that energy of riding off into the sunset. See the rainbow at top, like the sun will come out. So, Knight of Wands, this is being a player, using your wand too much, putting it everywhere it shouldn't be. Like if you snake, Son of Wands. So, like I say, Knight of Wands, that player energy is like you've been using those passions too much. And what do you have to show for it? Like I'm going to talk about this for a minute. I had a guy who, he was so like numbers. Like, oh, if you won't do it for me, another woman will. Or another woman, another woman, another woman. It's like, okay, but if you go through 100 women, but yet you don't have anybody to crawl into bed to every night that you love, what is the fucking point? Like, he would say like, oh, she has a headache and she won't have sex with me, I'll just find another woman. Okay. Except for what happens when you have a headache and you actually need someone there to be there? You don't have anybody because, yeah, you had 100 instant connections, but not one person that would actually go the distance for you. So you can be a player all you want, but at the end of the day, you're not going to have anybody to hold you when you need them. That was another one, like with my ex-husband, where I said to him, I go, who's going to take care of you when you get sick? Like, who's going to be there to take care of you when you get sick? If all you want is temporary connections, then who's going to hold you? All right. High Priestess. this is me, this is us sitting in that I have everything I want, need, desire. I don't need anything outside of me. That's very, pardon me, Libra energy. Intuitive, knowing what to use, what to let go of. The Devil, again, Capricorn energy. Letting go of those bonds, those chains, those driving forces. And Wheel of Fortune, all turning in our favor once we use our intuition to let go and release any addictions that are no longer serving us. The wheel will turn in our favor. And I love that for us. Okay. Eight of Cups. Knowing when it's time to let go. Enjoying what we've done emotionally, all the work that we can do. All right. That's funny. I was thinking about that journey I made today. I was like, I wonder if that dude's ever gonna find his stuff. I'll talk about that in a minute. The Sun, this is Leo energy. I was just thinking about a Leo. And then Three of Cups. So Three of Cups is like too many women in the kitchen. So the situation I had on Tuesday was dealing with a Leo and third party situation. Like his mom was the third party in our relationship. Very much like he couldn't let go of his mama. So today's adventure was to return something to him. Because I thought about it when I saw him on Tuesday. I was like, oh, I want to give that back to him. But, you know. So I took it to his grandfather. I wonder if he'll find it. He probably won't, though. Because he's too lost in the sauce. Or maybe he will. I don't think he will. Because I'll talk about that in a moment. I love the Lovers coming out, so Gemini energy. Oh, let's just maybe read about exes today. Gemini energy, so two-faced. This is something I've been telling people recently, because I talk about how the ancestors, a lot of people's ancestors work for me because I'm the one who actually, honors, talks to their ancestors, reminds them to talk to their ancestors and feed them. Let's see what else. Yeah, I'm the one that reminds people, hey, talk to your ancestors, go feed them, go pay them homage. So, because I talk to his family especially about feeding their ancestors a lot, but none of them listen. So I don't think he'll be finding that for a little bit. Or ever. I don't think he'll go back and talk to who he needs to talk to. Who knows? We'll see. It's no longer my problem. I put it where I needed to. With extra. I paid respect with extra to that. So the Tower. Heavy Scorpio energy. It all must crumble down. It's done. Anything that was built on a faulty foundation, anything that was a lie, must go. Deep transformation. Having to do with Knight of Pentacles, our money, our growth, going forward. I'm sleepy tonight. I don't know how long I'll be reading. Of course, I always say that, and then I always get sucked in longer. It just, when there's energy in here, reciprocity, I stay longer. When there's nothing going on, when it's just me chatting by myself, I got other stuff I can do. Yeah. Of course, I did start my day off with, it started out with heavy energetic work and then just continued rolling. So I love that for me. I love that for us. All right. Okay. Justice. Love it. Okay. and Chariot. I love justice for cancer, as in that means my murdering ex-boyfriend will be getting justice, and the woman that he killed, her family will be getting justice, and I'll be getting justice because that motherfucker tortured me a lot. And I have a lot of Cancerian family that has done some really nasty shit to me. Justice for all will be great. I seriously want to talk about the stupid shit that my ex said today, and I would say I could talk to my therapist, but my therapist is monitoring spirit, and he also works for the company that my ex worked for, and he's paid for by them. So even my therapist isn't even someone I can talk to anymore, because my therapist really did my daughter's. Oh, and he's a Cancer too. Ironic. My therapist did me wrong. He did the children wrong, and it's very upsetting. So that's ironic. Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? Alright, so again, Knight of Wands. Player energy. Using that wand energy. Spreading it all around. Icky. Nine of Swords. Gotta get out. Gotta end that cycle. Okay. Knight of Wands wanted to come out again. I'm gonna just stay here for a minute. Yeah, give me a minute. Or two. Alright. Okay. I'm gonna switch gears. I know I talked about being happily single, let's tap into some love oracle messages. See if there's any of that going on in the ethers. See if there's anything anyone wants to say to us, but they can't because they're not that brave. Oh, excuse me. I think I'm going to stop arguing with people that should have been swallowed instead of born. Maybe that sounds hella harsh, but there are some men out there that should never have gotten past someone's tonsils. Somehow their whole birth product. I know that sounds harsh, yet they are real dickheads. Alright, let's see. Let's see what the response is to that. One-sided relationship. Yeah. Let's see. What else? I get emotional when I think of you. There was someone interfering in our relationship. Yeah. I know that's true. Normally it's a meddling mama. Which, if you want to be with your mom, that's fine. If you want to be with me, you have to cut the cord. I need time, and childhood wounding is influencing my actions. Yeah. I'm not ready. Okay. I need time, and childhood wounding is affecting my actions. Okay. Well, apparently that's the repeating necessary information there. Well, oh, excuse me. Fun fact I learned this week: your cats, like if you have an accident or you're clumsy or something, or you're doing something embarrassing, your cats will like fake, like they'll start grooming themselves so that they can, respect your privacy. Our story isn't over yet. I'm afraid of losing you. Destiny is taking us down different paths, and there is something I'm hiding from you. It did feel kind of good saying some shit to my ex today. I felt that in for a long time. There's so much more I want to say. Yeah. Okay. I find you incredibly attractive. Sorry, bro. I wish you were here with me. Should have treated me better. I'm making changes for the better, and I feel lost without you. I feel lost without you. Well, man. But when people learn the lesson of losing us, because you had the chance to do right. You can say it was childhood patterning and wounding. Well, when are you going to grow up? When are you going to stop using mom as an excuse? It's like my ex-boyfriend the other day that I know he's mad at me. I know his mom's mad at me. But I'm like, you don't even like your mom. And your mom don't like you. Like, that's the thing. I've heard them both say the most horrendous things about each other. And it's like, so when are you guys going to cut the cord? And why did you have to blame me as the bad guy when you guys obviously have issues among yourself? Like, that's fine. You guys can go on living together forever. I'm not going to be a part of that. So no thanks. I don't. Okay. Love the stuff that I'm talking about that has like confirmations in the cards. Okay. Alright. So, take up the other one. Club. Someone will try to make you do something against your will. I already tried. And I already said no 1,000,000 times. Seahorse is in regards to family matters. Bird perched, waiting for news, package or letter. Show M. This is having to do with things from July. And tulip, great passions. Okay. Let's see if there's any other. Let's see if there's any others. Frying pan, trouble and accusations. Well, that was already flying out today. And in need of help, assistance, and guidance. You have to pay me. Throne, position of authority. Yep. Boat, money or property through an inheritance, winning, or windfall. And apple, temptation will test you. Okay. Just keep our head in the game. Keep going strong. Hand, needing a hand. Shield. You need to defend yourself. I was already doing that today. Hand, in need of help, assistance, and guidance. And tinkered. Celebration, fun, and enjoyment. It's coming. Okay. Alright, let's see. Okay. Wishbone, a wish is granted. Alright, I'm going to hop out. I am Larry Joe, SirenSong Lover. Should you wish to donate to my ministry, please do so. Cash App is Siren, capital S, Song, capital S, Lover, capital L. Should you wish to book a service, and I do multiple services. I do sound therapy, I do Reiki therapy, I do inner child healing, I do protection, I teach you protection. Obviously, I do readings, we do womb healing, all kinds of things. So, should you wish to book a service, that can be done through SirenSongLover.in. And should you wish to sow into my ministry, it's greatly needed. Please, please, please. That's done through Cash App, Siren, capital S, Song, capital S, Lover, capital L. Thank you so much. Bye.